Welcome everyone to the tie breaks between R. Vaishali and Carissa Yip at the FIDE World Cup 2025 Round 3. Vaishali and Carissa drew their two games in the classical format and then also drew in 20 plus 10 format. And now they are down to 10 plus 10. Vaishali has been tremendously resourceful. Also, luck has been on her side because she was losing in both the 20 plus 10 segment games. But now we start afresh. E4 by Vaishali, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6. And the viewers should know that Carissa is one of the best talents out there in US chess. And she is definitely a very strong opponent. Vaishali goes Knight to C3, slightly lesser popular than c3 move in general. Bishop e3. She's going for this setup where you play simple chess, get your pieces out on the normal best squares, but you're preparing long castling. h3 played, and this is how Vaishali, you know, uh, has decided to go in for this game. Bishop comes back, queen moves to d7. Carissa also preparing long castling. Vaishali castles long, and black also castles here. She takes on b6 first, ab6, and now can we break in the center to get some asymmetry? Yes, d4 is on the board. Takes on b3, pawn takes, and now e takes d4. Yes, taking here, knight takes, and I guess d5 simply equalizes the game, but she gets rook e8, makes sense. Vaishali gets queen f4. Now d5 is difficult to play. So she goes rook e5. But if you think about it, Vaishali's position now looks much more promising. The fact that she has more space here. Knight jumps to f5, attacking the pawn on g7. Carissa goes g5, hoping that Vaishali's queen will go back from f4. But Vaishali chops off the pawn on d6. The knight is hanging here. If you take, I take here. If you take my queen, I'll take on f6. In the game, she takes on d6. Queen takes f6 played. Vaishali has a huge advantage now. Rook e6 played. She goes back queen f5. And what a dominating position this is, because d5 square is in her control, d6 is weak. There's hardly any play here. I don't think Vaishali is going to botch this up. Also, it's not often that Vaishali is getting great positions in this match. Now she's ganging up on the d6 pawn. Queen comes up to c6. King b1, a useful move, just tucking the king in the corner. Plays rook to d8. And now rook d5. She goes king a8. Maybe you can simply jump in with knight to b5 here. Yes, she jumps in. d6 is under pressure. Goes rook c8. And now c3, stopping all queen c2 counterplay. Rook d8. The final blunder here. Rook takes e5 is working because this is hanging. She takes it. If rook e5, queen e5, d5, rook d8 is a checkmate. And Carissa resigns. Vaishali scores a very important win here. She now is 1-0 up in this match in 10 plus 10 segment. And we'll have the second game where Carissa is in a must-win situation. Not at all easy, because Carissa had so many winning positions and she couldn't convert. And Vaishali, the moment she got the first one, she converted it. And now we are here for the second game immediately. These tiebreaks are super brutal and a test of mental fortitude. Carissa has the white pieces now. She takes her chair and Vaishali is ready for the battle. A handshake and off we go. Carissa with white plays c4. The English opening is on the board. You have the symmetrical English with c5. g3 played to get the bishop out on g2. Knight comes out to f6. And now bishop g2, putting the bishop on the long diagonal. Knight comes out to c6 here. Knight to f3. And d5 played by Vaishali in the center. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes, and you can go d4 now or knight c3. She plays her knight to c3 and knight c7. Moving the knight again in order to play e5 later on, creating a Maroczy-bind structure in the center, exactly what Vaishali has done, e5. And Carissa goes a3, maybe preparing b4. Rook b8 is a nice move here. She knows her theory. Vaishali, look at her, 10 minutes 42 seconds. d3 played. And now bishop comes out to e7. She plays her bishop to e3. White has to remain careful in such positions because black has so much space. If black manages to consolidate with moves like b6, bishop e6, black should be better. Bishop comes out to d7. Now knight c4 is a common move here. But Carissa plays rook to c1. Bishop goes back to e8. And now rook e1, maybe not the best idea. Here you could play f4, keeping your rook on f file, but rook e1, b6. Vaishali playing some strong moves in the center. Knight jumps to c4, maybe some ideas of taking on c6 and taking on e5. So f6 played. And she goes f4. But what's the rook doing on e1? Shouldn't it have been on f1? Vaishali chops. Now bishop f4 seems logical, but gf4 taken. This does weaken the e file and the e3 squares quite a bit. f5 played, an excellent move by Vaishali, preparing bishop coming to f6. King goes to h1 and king h8. A useful move played. She goes with her knight to e5, offering a trade. Maybe you can just take it. Why not? Knight takes on e5, fe5. Vaishali, all that she needs in this game is a draw to advance to round number 4. But she already is considerably better. The knight is a beautiful blockader. F-pawn can move ahead. Queen b3 attacking the knight. Bishop f7 launching a discovered attack here. So queen must move. She goes queen a4, keeping pressure on the pawn on a7. Vaishali offers a trade of bishops. Takes on g5. Queen takes g5. Can we go and chop off this pawn? Maybe the best option. She does go in. Vaishali's given up a key pawn. But knight to f4 threatening mate in 1. Bishop comes to f3. A huge mistake. Rook g1 was needed here. And now knight h3 finishes off the game. Of course, Vaishali finds it. She's threatening mate in 1 with knight f2 check. And Carissa goes rook f1, but it's not enough. Knight f2 check comes in. Rook takes, and there you have a piece is hanging. King g2. She comes back with another check. Excellent play by Vaishali. She's just upped her game in this 10+10 format like crazy. She's played like a strong grandmaster, a top player. And now she's ready for a draw because that would help her qualify. She's just completely winning. And for Carissa, it's a choice between going out of the tournament or losing the game. She chooses the latter with being a rook down now. Vaishali, well, you can even put a blindfold for her and she'll win this. You can take away almost all her time, give her a couple of seconds, she'll win this. So everything's winning here. Takes another pawn. Queen takes b2. Queen c7. Carissa just going through the motions here. She, of course, would have loved to win this match. And kind of she deserved to, do well, especially with so many good positions. But I think in chess, you have to finish off your opponent. Just getting good positions. Just getting good positions often is not enough. Queen goes to b7, and now Vaishali gives a check. Everything is traded. Carissa resigns. Vaishali goes through to round 4 of the FIDE Women's World Cup 2025. She now enters the last 16 players in the tournament, and she will now face Kamaladinova of Kazakhstan, and she's in the fray along with Humpy, Harika, and Divya.